If you have an IRA, there's a lot of things that might be on your mind. You might be thinking about how the investment portfolio is performing. You might be concerned about how much risk you're taking or re-examining your investment objective. There's a lot of things that go into IRAs, but one thing that gets overlooked sometimes is the beneficiary designation portion of an IRA. The beneficiary designation portion specifies who you want these funds to go to if something were to happen to you. In this video, we're going to discuss IRA beneficiary designations and what you need to know. But first, be sure to subscribe. I want to make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos, and your subscription to this channel really helps. When you fill out an IRA beneficiary designation form, there are several spots to fill in a person's information. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to whether you're filling out the primary beneficiary designation or the contingent beneficiary designation. The primary beneficiary designates who you want the funds to go to first. Think of it this way. You put down a primary beneficiary, you're telling the IRA custodian or your investment firm that that is the person that is first in line. The contingent beneficiary is second in line after the primary beneficiary. The reason why this is important is that it protects you in case something were to happen to a primary beneficiary. If the primary beneficiary passes away before you, the contingent beneficiary now moves into the first spot in line and becomes the primary beneficiary. Before we go any further in this video, we want to address why it's so important to designate a primary beneficiary for an IRA in the first place. IRAs are powerful retirement savings tools. They also allow you to pass your retirement funds to a beneficiary while avoiding the probate process. While we don't have time in this video to discuss the probate process and why it's so important to avoid it, we do want to recognize that it is very important with IRAs to specify who you want your money to go to if you were to pass away. If you don't, your money will go through the probate process, and then you'll have people through the court system trying to make claims on your retirement funds. Now, it is a very common process to go through, and I don't mean to alarm you that it's some kind of horrible process, but it can be very problematic. So if you have the ability to do so, it makes sense to specify designations on your IRAs. Naming minors as beneficiaries can be problematic. Minors aren't able to make their own investment and financial related decisions on their own. Courts will often appoint a custodian to handle those types of decisions until a child reaches the age of 18. If you have named minors as beneficiaries and you pass away and you haven't specified any other estate planning documents that indicate who the custodian should be for your minor children, the courts will appoint one for you, and you may not like their choice. If you're considering naming minors as beneficiaries to an IRA, proceed with caution. Be sure to consult with an estate planning attorney that has experience in this area to provide you guidance as to the best way to handle this task. There's a common misconception out there that wills and trusts cover your retirement accounts. Basic estate planning requires the establishment of a trust and a will. While they're not the same thing, they do work together. IRA beneficiary designations have a way of bypassing the probate process, but also bypassing the trust and estate planning process. Now, they're all related. It's important to acknowledge that. However, the misconception is that you don't have to make changes to your IRA beneficiaries if you've established a will or a trust. When in reality, the investment firm or custodian of your IRA, they are going to operate based on who you have specified is the beneficiary on their paperwork rather than what you specified in a will or a trust document. If you have taken the step necessary to do some basic estate planning like establishing a will and a trust, congratulations. These are important aspects of our overall financial well-being and those who we love. Now, let's be honest. It can be difficult to have some of these conversations. We're talking about our incapacity, the death of ourselves or our loved ones, and there's the added expense of going to an estate planning attorney and establishing a will and a trust. Despite all that, the added expense, the uncomfort of having those conversations, I think it's an important part of establishing a strong financial foundation. And if you've gone through that process, great. You've invested time and money. Now you need to take it a step further and make sure that you're not leaving some holes in your financial plan. Don't make the mistake of assuming that what you've spelled out in your will and your trust is going to cover what you've already done on your IRAs. If you've established a will and a trust, you need to go back and revisit how you've set up your IRA beneficiary designations to make sure that they're in line. And now for an important disclaimer that this should not be taken as legal advice for you. If you have questions about your estate planning and your IRA beneficiary designations, make sure that you're consulting with your own financial advisor and your own legal representative. If you've made it this far in the video and you haven't fallen asleep, congratulations. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to ask for your help in subscribing to my channel. Every subscription makes a difference, and you're helping make it possible for me to continue to make these personal finance videos for you. Thanks so much for your support.